Hi everybody, Clark Smith here. I'm the winemaker for Winesmith, and today I'm going to share with you my secret recipe for keto-friendly diet, dairy-free seafood chowder. Now let me explain a little about the keto diet. This is how I maintain my girlish figure, and it's by doing everything the opposite of all of that stuff that I learned at Jenny Craig. I don't do any of that anymore. I do exactly the opposite. So a keto diet consists of very high fat and very low carbohydrates, which means you get all the good stuff. Food that has a lot of flavor, and oddly enough, you just peel off the pounds. And I got a very easy time going through COVID, 3 days of mild unpleasantness. So I'm a big believer in this diet, and I'm going to violate everything that you've probably been taught. Here's my chowder recipe. Seafood, we're going to do some canned clams here. These are the chopped clams that you can buy in any store for a couple of bucks. And then here's a jar of oysters in their juice. And those two will be the seafood. Now the other element that I think is critical to any good chowder is either salt pork or bacon. And I have here the best bacon in the world. This is the Sonoma County Meat Company honey lavender bacon. Now I joined the Bacon of the Month Club for a couple of years, so I looked at 24 of the nation's best bacons. And this is the best one. So any applewood-smoked bacon will work, but if you get online, you can get this stuff, and it really is the bee's knees. It's so good, you really only for this recipe need 2 or 3 rashers. You can see that it's thick cut, but I have 6 rashers here, and that's because when I'm making this dish, people tend to hang around and eat the bacon. So I always make extra so that the little snackers, little drive-by snackers will be able to have some, and I'll still have some left over for the dish. All I'm going to do is slice these into about 1-inch slices. And then rather than to tediously brown those in a frying pan, I'm just going to nuke them for a couple of minutes. I use one of these great covers here for the microwave to keep the splatter down. This one has magnets on the top, so it just sticks to the top of the microwave. I love that thing. And we're just going to give this 2 minutes. While we're waiting for that, I'll go over the other ingredients. I've got a large white onion here. You can use red onion, but the coconut elements we're going to use here bring a little sweetness, and so I don't like to use a yellow onion because it's sweeter. Then I have 2 cans here of a substitute for heavy cream. Just like cream, it's got a lot of fat in it. And then the other thing that's really vital, I think, to a good chowder is that it needs to be buttery. There's a butter-flavored coconut oil here that we're going to use to saute our onions. A little salt and pepper. Now I've kept this onion in the refrigerator, and that's how you chop up an onion with no more tears. Okay, so that was easy, and here's the bacon. You can do it however you want to, but I like it kind of only semi-crisp. I use this nice, delicious bacon grate to fry our onion. And then those little pieces are sitting there in case little people come by and want to snag a bite. So then here's my onions. Got things going pretty good there. So here we've softened those onions and we've gotten them to brown just a little. I'd like to put a little pepper in here. And then we're going to cook the oysters. When they're usually too big, cut them up. Before we add any water to this, we want to be able to use the higher temperature of the oil to cook those oysters a little bit. Now we're going to add all of this juice. All right, so we wanted to bring that to a boil. In part, it just helps to sterilize. So now at this point, we want butter. And I'm going to just put in about that much of this buttery coconut oil. And now we'll just go ahead and add our clams. Now the camera person and I have been working on this bacon, and you can see there isn't as much left as there used to be, but here you go, my dear. There's a nice piece for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I think I like this one for myself. And you can see that's just about enough to get us through. The oyster broth and the bacon have a kind of an unpredictable amount of salt. And so I add the salt at the end. So now I have this beautiful coconut cream. I'm just going to spoon it in there. And now we don't want to boil this, but we're going to warm it back up to almost boiling. It does need a little salt. I love these salt flakes. Oh yeah, that's just perfect. Okay, so my dear, what do you make of this stuff?
Oh, the aroma is wonderful. Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, and what do you think of the Pinot Gris along with this stuff?
Of course. Also the perfect match.